Hey, welcome back. Episode 31 of Michigan Brews. I can't believe we've been doing this. Every time I think we say that every time. What should have started as a whim for a weeks, just turned into something so much more.
Basically, like upscale Zoom meetings.
Beer,
right?
Except everybody else gets to watch us too. Yeah.
Exactly. Hang out and drink with your friends online. It's actually funny. We do this. We have our keepers meetings, we have officer meetings, we have all kinds of. I think we just have a problem with drinking on Zoom, and this fills that gap or that void. So, really excited tonight. So I reached out a couple of weeks ago to get some information about Kalamazoo Beer Week, and this has turned into this just really cool. It's not yet. I'm getting there. But it's turned into this really cool engagement. I got, TJ hooked us up with some folks from Discover Kalamazoo and West Michigan Beer Tours, and that's turned into actually what we're going to do tonight and then another show next week to talk about the new Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week and what KBW has turned into. And so I'm super excited to have, Dana Wagner from Discover Kalamazoo and John Liberty from West Michigan Beer Tours here. Originally we had planned just to talk about Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week and how it transformed from Kalamazoo Beer Week and then they're like, well, let's bring on Final Gravity this week because we've got some cool events that they're doing. So super pumped about that. And then Dana was like, we've got the mill. So next week we'll post this later. We'll also have some folks join us from the mill, the project in Vicksburg. So I wanted to get that announcement out before the show gets on and I forget about it at the end. So let's bring these guys in.
Awesome.
And we'll talk. So we've got Dana from Discover Kalamazoo, John from West Michigan Beer Tours, and then a whole crew guys from Final Gravity.
Hey guys.
Owner Kevin and Michael, right? And then the other Kevin, you're the bartender at the Kalamazoo location, the manager, right? Awesome. Cool.
Welcome, guys.
So like I said, thanks so much for coming in here with us and giving us another reason to drink on Monday night. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Speaking of, usually at the beginning of our shows, we like to go around and just kind of ask what everybody's drinking tonight. And I think that Jason, Jordan, and I can probably skip most of ours. We're all drinking the same thing right now, I think, right?
Yep.
So, you guys at Final Gravity want to tell us about what we're drinking? I think we all cracked open this 500. Yeah.
I'm drinking woohoo poo poo.
I think you want to talk about the 500.
No problem. So it has Michigan Comet in it, right?
It's a smash beer with Michigan Comet.
Yeah.
And then sorry, we're having some technical issues with the Final Gravity guys. They might be popping in and out and look frozen again.
It's fine. It'll be a fun little popcorn surprise episode. We got you guys back.
All right. So we were up in Traverse City and hooked up with Brian Tennis, and he was telling about these Comet hops, and they sounded pretty interesting. So we brought them and again did a smash so we could identify the hop and the characteristics and how we were going to move forward with it. So that's what that's all about.
Yeah, it's super fruity.
Really
is.
Citrus. Yeah.
Yep.
From what I understand about Comet, not necessarily Michigan Comet, but Comet's a pretty old hop.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the first higher alpha acid hops that the USDA started to grow, so that brewers could use less hop material way back in the day to bitter their beers. That's what I remember reading at one point in time. I could be totally wrong, but it's seen a resurgence lately, and it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, we're super happy with the hop. We look forward to using that a couple other ways.
Good.
Yeah.
By all means, I was in there to pick these up, and I know with COVID, nobody can. Well, at least for this week, nobody can drink inside. But you guys got a cool place set up out in front, and We'll talk about this more later, but I believe you can just walk down the mall with a beer now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Social district. So you can go where basically the beginning of it. You can go all the way down to Harvey's. You can go out to the Stamp Robin. I think they've even extended it down.
Yeah, they were working on extending it through Bronson Park, and I think that would, and even towards the north side of Kalamazoo area too, so that we could incorporate even more places into that Central Commons area.
Well, why did they catch up?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. So let's dive into Kalamazoo Beer Week. So let's see. I've got a plaque from 2018. John, how long has Kalamazoo Beer Week been a thing? If you can help us there, give us some history.
Yeah, the abridged version of that is in 2010, the Brewers Association named Imperial Beverage the craft beer distributor of the year. So to kind of celebrate that, the following year they launched Kalamazoo Beer Week. So it started mostly as an Imperial branded brainchild kind of thing that eventually expanded to include a lot of the breweries that started opening in Kalamazoo. As you guys know, we had a pretty big year in 2013 with Rupert's, Tibbs, and Gonzo's all opening within a couple months right around then. So not long in, they joined the fray, and a few other distributors got involved. Bars and restaurants started growing their events, and then it kind of took off from there. Last few years, Discover Kalamazoo's taken over running the show and kind of managing communication, website and events and communication and promo. So yeah. And then this is the first year of the sort of new iteration where we welcome in Kalamazoo wine, Kalamazoo spirits, got some hard cider in there. So yeah.
We have a meadery in town too that I only discovered this year. It used to be Confliction, that's now Valhalla, or that's the name of the tap room. What Norse Nectar, right?
Yeah, I think Norse Nectar is their brand of mead. They've got Brewery Outer, and then Valhalla is the name of the tasting room that you can get both that and they've got their beer there too that's under a different name. But
you guys had Tom on, right?
Trey or something. Yeah. Tom's great.
Yeah.
Tom actually commented in so
yeah,
I might be in chat. What was the City Center Brewing? I think is the other.
It's City Union
City
Brewery.
Union.
City Union. There you go. Right on. So traditionally, or I guess, how long ago did you say Discover Kalamazoo took or got involved?
So 2011 was the one.
Yeah,
2011.
a couple years ago.
Right on. What type of things do you guys like? You know, I've been to different breweries and I've seen some of the different things that have. I'll tell that story in a minute. So, my friend TK. Oh hell, why not? So I have friends that work at Imperial Beverage, and a few years ago, that's why I have one of the plaques. A few years ago, the Anderson Valley rep couldn't make it for an engagement. So they reached out. A friend of mine reached out and said, we need somebody that can come and talk about Anderson Valley beer at this event. And so I did my homework and put on a t-shirt, I think, and went down and I repped Anderson Valley for Imperial Beverage. I got paid in bottles out of their warehouse, and I had a great time. And then I actually went on to, let's see, I pretended to be a rep for Abita.
I thought it was just that one time, really.
No, I've done it 3 times. I used to get a call or a text from Jenny Doan, and she'd just be like, yo, can you, I forget what I have stuff on my shelf. That's why I'm trying to look over on my shelves and see. But she'd be like, can you rep for, it was like Abita the next time, and can you rep for this one this time? And I would just go and, I can bullshit about beer for hours. So that's what it was. I would joke around with her anytime. Oh, was it shorts? Yeah. I go and lie for Imperial Beverage. So anyway, where were we? TK interrupted me.
Substitute brewery rep.
That's right. No, I had a great time with it too. It was fun. But so that's where I was at. So what I know what what the individual breweries and bars do. They try to set up some fun events. But how do you guys get involved with that and kind of help organize it? Are you knocking on their door saying, "Come have a silly sweater contest"?
I'm not sure how that one came about yet. So I'm gonna love to hear how the idea was generated behind that ugly winter outfit contest, for sure. But Discover Kalamazoo as being our county's destination marketing organization. We just beer, craft beverages are an important part to our not only our community and our economy, but the studies show, we get a lot of visitors coming to the area too, to explore those local partners. So it only makes sense that, an organization like ourselves that, we want to support that work and we want to support our partners and really just kind of helping to be that connecting organization to bring it all together and market it, not only to the area, but outside to the region as well, which we would be doing in a normal year. So this year it's a little bit more localized because of what we can do. But typically, that's where we try to get involved so we can, continue to create, bigger and better events each year for partners.
Right on.
Awesome. What kind of challenges and stuff did you have like this year? I know there's probably not as many events going on as previous years and stuff. We can still do some outside drinking in some places, but a lot of places probably aren't participating in events and stuff.
That's where we've wanted to still do something this year. I think in the times where you see so many things being canceled and not going on, we knew that there were still ways that we don't want to just let it go. We knew there were still ways that we could enjoy our favorite craft beverages, enjoy our beers, cocktails, whatnot, and honestly just give the support that we can, to the industry that's been struggling, throughout this pandemic time. So whether it was, getting even your favorite beverages to go, getting your growlers filled up or your cans and bottles or your crowlers, we're trying to look at doing a few sessions where you can meet the brewer like that online, or Temple Vino put together a wine and cheese pairing thing. So you can go pick up your kit and then you can join in online. So some hybrid events like that. But then you get, the people that are getting creative with things, like our friends over there at Final Gravity, where, hey, we're Michiganders. We can embrace the colder weather and the outdoors. So let's do, something fun outside. And we talked a little bit earlier about, the addition of the Central Commons downtown. That's also been a great way too, where you can still get your beverages to go, just bundle up and be able to walk around outside and, enjoy some stuff in the outdoors. So we knew that there were still ways that we could do things. We can't have our bigger events and get everybody together quite yet. But that doesn't mean that there aren't ways to support, our breweries and our distilleries and wineries. So that was our purpose.
Yeah. Was the expansion out into distilleries and meaderies and wineries and cideries and blenderies and all these other things part of trying to make a bigger event this year, or was that just kind of was that planned already and it just sort of coincided with the pandemic, or?
I would say probably kind of a bit of both there. We were obviously looking at there are even some breweries that have gotten into making other types of products, and then our distillery also it's So just kind of seeing that, just that overall, I mean, appreciation for craft beverages in general. I think of like, you know, myself too, like in a weekend, I may go visit both a brewery and a distillery. I throw in a winery there too if I'm feeling a little
Why not?
but I think, yeah, I mean, anybody who can truly appreciate, you know, what goes into, you know, making these craft beverages. We wanted to kind of embrace all of that and be able to support our local makers as a whole. So that kind of ties into with some of the things that at Discover Kalamazoo, we've been working to promote as well, our homegrown and handcrafted campaigns, our Kalamazoo Made for You campaign. You know, how you can get those things locally made for you.
That's awesome. So you guys chuckled a little bit in Final Gravity. Are you guys, when she talked about getting into other things, are you guys are going to be edging into the distilling space or the wine space anytime soon, or any plans for that?
Well, we already have a small winemaker's license, and the distillery is something we've talked about, but we got our hands full with getting all this up and running right now. We're moving from our 3-barrel to a 15-barrel, and we're building it off the street. So,
and we're actually going to start with exclusive 20-year whiskey. So we'll see in about 20 years. Talk to us. Call me out.
We'll be waiting. Where are you guys right now? Because I've seen your brewery in Decatur, and it's definitely not where you're sitting right now.
Now we bought the building across the street, and we're building in. We're real close. We're
cool.
Middle close.
Have you guys run water through it yet? I mean, it looks like it's set up pretty good.
Yeah. We got all this, and then we put the fermenters. We tore out part of the floor. The fermenters they're in the basement, and then they come up halfway through the first floor. We had all kinds of vertical space, but not much of a footprint, so we decided to use all our vertical space.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. We'll have to talk to David and Tim and see if we can get a tour out there with the Homebrew Club once this shit goes over.
We'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So when do you guys expect to be going into production there on your 15-barrel? When are you hoping for?
We're hoping for summer, but we do most everything ourselves. So we haven't hired much done, so it takes us a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's hard to find time right now. So,
but summer's our hope. Late spring, early summer.
knock on wood.
Nice.
We're through the plumbing, we're through the electrical, we're to the mechanical. So
We have a friend and a fellow keeper that's opening up his little brewery in Vicksburg right now, Doster Brewing. Well, that's what his production facility is going to be. And watching him kind of go through it over the last year has been really cool. He just got his cooler built, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually just saw it today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He has all of his. There's still some stuff going on with he's probably in chat right now, but he's getting some of his gas going. All of his trenches, his trench drains mostly like dug out and stuff like that. His cooler's going. So yeah, it looks really nice. It's actually One Well's old 3-barrel system that came from somewhere else before they got it. So yeah.
I think that 3-barrel system has been in like 3 or 4 different breweries.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big challenge for us too is we went steam rather than direct fire, and the whole steam process, getting all the steam pipes and return water ran, that all takes a lot of time.
I have no doubt.
Nice.
Ted in chat has a question too for you guys. Does 15 barrels mean you're going to be doing direct distribution? And I actually had that exact same question. So
that was our focus, was getting more into distribution. Our focus was going to be bars and restaurants, but that's kind of a dried up market right now. So
yeah.
we're going to have to kind of reevaluate and see which direction we want to go. But that was definitely the plan.
Yeah. Mostly Canada.
Our plans changed a little bit, but we'll figure it out.
Right, John, you look like you had something. So what?
Oh yeah, you should ask Mike and Kevin the story on tracking that down. They have a whole litany of deals and fines that Mike is able to. And they were telling me the story not that long ago, and it's cracked me up. I don't know if Kevin or Mike want to basically just talk about your ability to find steals online. I mean, I'm just talking about the system you got behind you. It's
the big one is the Newlands system behind us. Mike found that we flew out to Colorado to
Colorado Springs.
Phantom
The brewery
Creek,
was
Phantom
Canyon.
Phantom Canyon.
Yep.
And Mike had his heart set on a Newlands, so we flew out to Colorado, looked at this, and picked it up. I thought very reasonable. The big one that stands out to me is we had to bring 3-phase into the building. We didn't have 3-phase, so we brought 3-phase into the building, and the circuit breaker, a new circuit breaker, was like $6,000 or $7,000, and
Holy shit!
And Mike found one online with the main breaker for $450. That's how we roll.
That's awesome.
So you got Colorado, you got Massachusetts, and they all plunked down in Decatur, right? Is that?
Yeah. That breaker back that came from out East Coast, out your way. So
I think, for the breweries around here, I know there's a lot of breweries around here that are like you guys that do it yourselves, do it organically. It's the best way to do it, and I see that happen a lot. I've talked to guys, picking up a bottle in line in a U-Haul truck from Georgia, and the same thing, like that 3-barrel system at one well. I think Drew'd have to tell the story behind that, but I'm pretty sure that was like at Tibbs at one point, and it's bounced around, And
well, speaking like a Tibbs brewery, I think all his brewing equipment went to American Brewing Company in Kalamazoo, didn't it?
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about earlier with sorry, Brian, you got it. That one.
No. And Ted will probably chime in too, but it's
so they used that to open Valhalla then? The taste
not to open, but it's part of City Union now. So if you pull into Valhalla, they have 2 garages, and like right as you go to the back of the parking lot, and one of those garages now is their brewing area. And Brewery Otré, Ted, I hope I don't butcher that name. I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
Powder, from what I heard.
So Ted in chat is the brewer for Brewery Otré there. By the way, who just asked that question?
Guy, he asked the question earlier. This is so Theodore Frederick Lindbergh is the brewery. So how do you pronounce it, Ted?
But he says it still needs to be hooked up. But yeah, it's all moved in. Actually talked to Tom not too long ago, and he showed me the system and all of its little bits and pieces back there. So they're going to be doing coffee. Speaking of craft beverages, I guess coffee kind of counts, right? We're gonna have a local coffee company doing like cold brew and stuff like that. And
there is a Kalamazoo Coffee Week.
And there is Kalamazoo Coffee Week.
We're not stepping on their toes. Yeah.
Nice.
but coffee. I mean, and there are obviously, your beers, brewed with coffee and stuff too, or interesting cocktails, of course, as well. So, but there's a Kalamazoo Coffee Week for that too.
Do we have a Kalamazoo Coffee Week?
Yeah, we came across it.
Today.
When does that happen, roughly?
I hadn't heard that either.
I think it last happened in like September or October of 2019. So they obviously didn't have it this year. But
You might want to get involved in their marketing, Dana, because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither. I love coffee.
or maybe that just says too much about my stalking abilities or something to find these events. So
I think every brewery or alcohol producing organization in Kalamazoo needs to put out some sort of coffee beverage during that week too. We have coffee blondes and coffee stouts and coffee.
Right.
Beans.
Yeah.
So the last week that it happened was September of 2019, September 16th through 22.
Got it.
So,
yeah, that's cool.
Interesting. I never heard of it either. I'd have been down there mainline and that shit. So
I mean, I don't think it's been going on that long, maybe like a year or two. So, yeah.
I know we got a couple of good roasters in Kalamazoo. Yeah.
I use Kalamazoo Coffee Company's coffee in my like coffee blonde and a lot of my beers and stuff. So it's the freshest coffee you can find around here. Well, there's a lot of little roasters and stuff around. They're probably one of the bigger more well-known ones, but yeah, I like their stuff. There's a chili cook-off that happens in Kalamazoo once a year too. When is that during one of these weeks? When is that? You guys?
It's late. The latest I heard was February 27th is tentative date. So keep
That's
fingers
gotta
crossed.
happen, Dana.
What?
That's gotta happen. That is so much fun.
We make the best chili too, so
Make it happen.
So I don't have any say over that. I mean, I'll just help to promote it and stuff. But the powers that be with that one are with the Kalamazoo Downtown Partnership. But we're obviously talk a lot with them and help promote each other's stuff all the time. So that is the latest I heard.
What is the Kalamazoo Downtown Partnership?
So
I'm like the most uneducated Kalamazoo person about Kalamazoo thing. I guess. Yeah, sorry.
No, they were. So before it was Kalamazoo Downtown Partnership, they were DKI, so Downtown Kalamazoo Inc. I want to say, yeah. But they're the economic development kind of arm of City of Kalamazoo for the downtown. So. Yeah, doing events and programming, but also, resources for businesses and also helping to recruit businesses for the downtown and full space and things as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I have to apologize. I know nobody know unless I bring it up, but I think I messaged Brian and Jordan. I'm like, I am messing this communication up so much. I think I referenced you guys in an email as Downtown Kalamazoo. I asked the same question like multiple times. I'm like, this is a bad work week. And I'm like trying to set this up with you guys. And I'm like, oh shit, I just called them Downtown Kalamazoo. I hope they don't.
No, I think you had Discover Kalamazoo in it. You had it right.
I did. I changed it after. But I think I sent you one email. Like, do you guys want me to say that you're with Downtown Kalamazoo? And thankfully nobody noticed that. So that'll lead me into though, just to do the shout out, John, so I originally had this advertised as John Liberty with Discover Kalamazoo. See, I almost did it. But I changed that because your company's West Michigan Beer Tours, right? How do you tie in with Discover Kalamazoo?
Well, we've partnered with Discover Kalamazoo basically since we kind of launched. Little personal history: I used to be one of those print geeks at a thing called the newspaper. So we had a beer blog called Kalamazoo Brew that we started around 2006, 2007 because the editors at the paper said the internet may have an effect on the publishing world at some point. So there's this thing called a blog, and you can put content up there and maybe it goes into the print product or not. So myself and a couple really good friends started a beer blog. We called it Kalamazoo Brew. He joined us at one point.
I recognize him.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What happened to the beer cup?
What?
The Kalamazoo beer cup.
It's sitting in the basement at Saugatuck Brewing Company, Kalamazoo, right now.
Oh wow!
And you've got the previous winner with a woohoo poo poo. Anyway,
that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. Well, I brought the toy along. That's an easy distraction for everybody. Anyway, I basically took some of the relationships I built up over close to a decade in the newspaper blogging world into West Michigan Beer Tours. And then eventually, that was 2012. We started the back end work of that in 2013. We launched. I was still trying to the beer tour at the time was a sort of side hustle, so I had to stop writing about beer because of a potential conflict of interest. So just I wrote about entertainment, so it was all music, food, nightlife, that kind of stuff, but just no local beer. So and then what's that?
You said entertainment. You focus on Miley Cyrus.
For sure. I did interview Taylor Swift
Oh, it's
a long
awesome.
time ago. She played Miller Auditorium, so good. And
I had no idea. That's cool.
one of my favorite parts of the interview with her is that at least 3 times in like they send kind of liner notes before you get the interview, and it must have said at least 3 different times that she writes all of her own music. So it occurred to me, if you're saying this so many times, I feel like I need to ask as many times as you mention it. So like I wasn't questioning whether or not she did, and she was very young at the time. But it just struck me as like it was such a point of emphasis. I thought it was anyway, whatever. I'm getting sidetracked.
No, so John, just to interrupt real quick. This is a theme of Michigan brews. We go off topic so freaking much.
We stayed on topic pretty well this time, though.
Being
Go
off
wherever
topic
the hell
is
you want to go, man.
Yeah. So to try to tighten this up a bit here. I took the relationships from a lot of the beer work we did. We did some really, really fun stuff. We went down in a gypsum mine where founders stored a bunch of beer, went to all the beer festivals, all that stuff. Anyway, launched the beer tour company and quickly became familiar with the fine folks at Discover Kalamazoo. We thought what we were trying to introduce to the area would be a lot of fun to collaborate on. And so then we did that. Then a couple years ago, well, I guess 2 years ago, we had been kind of ongoing conversations with Discover Kalamazoo. They mentioned the need for a little additional support for Beer Week management. So I put my short little hand up in the air and they said, sure. So yeah, we've been helping out a little bit last year and then quite a bit this year as well. So in any way I can help Dana and the rest of her team, try to jump in, do some fun little writing stuff here and there. I text and screw with all the guys like Final Gravity and anybody else in town to try to see how things are going, what they're going to do for Beer Week, and just kind of get a general sense of how everybody's doing during the weird times. So it's been fun to see some of the resiliency from our beer culture to kind of still make this thing work despite all the craziness of the last few years. So pretty cool, creative, fun-loving, hardworking people. So it's cool to see them put all that stuff into practice when it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, this is why we do what we're doing is we were, the three of us were missing our interactions with the local brewing community, and why we want to reach out to all these people is so we get to know their stories and stuff, because the Kalamazoo brewing community, the Michigan brewing community, and even, we're the same way. We're expanding. It's not just beer, it's the craft beverage, where I know we're going to have distillers onto it, but it's just such a great group of people, a lot of cool people, a lot of cool stories. So but I'm going to take your segue there and go right into, so speaking of these crazy events and stuff, so Final Gravity, what do you have planned? I think we mentioned the ugly winter costume, but what kind of events are you guys doing for Beer Week this week? Or Craft Beverage Week?
No, we got quite a few things planned. Like you said earlier, we're doing on Friday, we're kicking off the Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week with the ugly winter contest. So come dressed in your ugliest winter outfit. We're going to have judges, prizes. We're also pairing with Kevin and Company that day. They're going to have a fantastic sausage pairing, but they will also have other food as well. So we'll have a sausage pairing, and they'll also have other food so you can eat as well. So check out Kevin and Company, and also pairing. The next day, Saturday, we'll have our Final Gravity. We bring a pizza oven down. If people don't know, every Saturday we have awesome pizza, hog wings. We won't have any hog wings now because
I don't know yet.
So maybe not. But when we have them, they're awesome. They're like little pork shanks. We also have chicken wings. They're house smoked wings. Toss them 5 different sauces. So we'll have that on Saturday. And then the following week, Monday, that's gonna be our big day. We're having yay, we can finally dine indoor again on Monday. So again, we'll have our pizza up and down there. We're gonna have Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson from Midwestern Lowell.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Midwestern Lowell. So Dave Johnson from Midwestern Lowell is going to come down and provide some musical acoustic entertainment for everyone. We'll have the pizza oven out there, and to kind of kick off the hey, we can finally have indoor dining, and let's get going. And then Wednesday, I think this will be a good event. We're doing a drunk spelling bee. So it's gonna be all beer-related words like you're encouraged to drink. You don't have to drink, but you're encouraged to. And so we'll have like beer-related words, lager and things, and moving your way up to lactobacillus and things like that. So that'll be Wednesday. We'll have Scott's Pig Roast out there, and then Friday we'll finish off with a Bacon Fest Friday. So we're gonna have where I'll be preparing 4 different types of bacon, pairing them with 4 different beers, and have a nice little pairing going for the week.
You never go wrong with bacon.
Yeah.
No bacon beer.
No, was it Right Brain that tried that? Was it the bacon beer?
I'm not going to name the brewery that I had this at, but I don't pour beer out often, and rarely does it ever make me gag. And I was at a festival and had a bacon beer at this brewery, and like it hit my gag reflex. And I thought I might have choked a little bit or something, so I tried it again. And don't do bacon beer. Although I have to say, what's that? Yeah,
you were pouring it, so you had to continue pouring it for hours on end.
No, he poured it out.
I bought it. I poured it out. Yeah.
I'm thinking you're helping work at the beer booth, and I'm thinking, oh man, you're stuck with this for
if that aroma. Oh yeah, no. I will say though, Oddside has that. What's that? What's their beer? They have a beer that they say has like bacon in it or bacon flavor or something that's actually pretty good. It's breakfast something.
So just because I'm constantly giving Brian shit on this show, I just want to throw this out here since you guys are having the ugly winter apparel competition. This puppy won me first place at one a few years ago. So
yeah.
There you go, Brian. For you, buddy.
That's the guy you want to see down there, right there.
That is the type of apparel we are looking for.
It's got unicorns on it too.
We figured as long as we were closed on the 29th, we couldn't have indoor dining. We're trying to figure out a way to make it fun, and we thought, well, hell, if we got to be outside, let's make everybody dress for it and just kind of run with what we've got.
We should get the Michigan Brew Crew out there to do it, guys.
Yeah, wait, are there going to be different categories? Like, should they do, like a group or couples costume there,
Oh, that's an idea.
No, we haven't really
we haven't even thought that far.
You guys still need celebrity judges, though, right?
I think we need one more right now, so we are still looking for one more judge. So if anyone has any ideas or anything, let us know. And
I think
we start about 6:30, judging at 7. So
nice.
Come on down and drink some beer.
That was on the 29th again, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Friday.
Yep, this Friday.
Yeah. So the week kicks off this Friday, the 29th, and then we'll go through the following Saturday, the 6th of February.
Awesome. So I gotta do a quick shout out.
Stuff I can do next week then. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's an event calendar on there. And then we added a specials tab this year too. So like we were saying, just different ways if there's, if people aren't feeling comfortable, but they still want to, support local breweries and whatnot. We've got specials going on throughout the week too, even just promoting how you can get your, curbside pickup or to go, growlers and cans. I mean, any of that, is still enjoying the spirit of the week and supporting a local partner. So that's all the website is KalamazooCraftBeverageWeek.com, or you can just Google it because that's, usually what people do these days. So.
Probably the only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did share
Who actually types in a web URL anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, we shared it in the post and I put it in the comments a little bit ago. So yeah, go check it out. Scroll up if you're watching the show. It's in the comments. Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week.com. But yeah, just give a go ahead.
Don't go ahead.
I just saw Drew. So 2 weeks ago we hung out with Drew Jacobs.
Oh, there he is, the man.
And, he's asking that's his picture of his new single Thunder Rolls out on iTunes and everywhere you get your music. And no, Drew, we are not hungover. I actually did post that last week. I said no show on the 18th. I'm still hungover from hanging with Drew. But going through a bottle of bourbon with Drew Jacobs, and he actually, his fan base is huge, and I think at one point he was even having his fans pay us to do shots. Or
Yep, on his website he put shots up for us.
Yeah, it was
Anybody wants to pay me to do shots of bourbon, let me know.
We didn't get the money.
No, yeah, we didn't get the money.
Wait, so what was worse then? Because before this, you were talking about how bad your like seltzer night was. So the seltzer night or the bourbon night? Which one was,
So for me, I remember the end of the show on the seltzer night, and I don't on the Drew Jacobs night. I don't remember any of that show. But after the seltzer night, I fell asleep on my couch, like with no pants. And at the end of the Drew Jacobs show, I went to bed. So it's kind of like where's
the line?
Yeah.
And most of these good ones, Jordan's a new dad, right? Charlie's what, 6-7 months old now?
Actually almost 9. Dude, it's been
9.
a long time. Yeah.
So anytime Brian and I are gonna really tie one on, Jordan has dad duty or some shit. So
I have. It's all been inadvertent. I've missed all the shit shows, but although our New Year's recap was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was you did a vertical of KBS.
Yeah, when you're going in, when you're an hour and a half into the show and you decide it's a good idea to run down to your cellar and pull out, 3 bottles of KBS, the night's gone. It's gone. It's just gone. So,
John just a bacon beer in private chat here, and Right Brand did do one, and it has like really good scores on Beer Advocate.
Mangalista.
Mangalista. Yeah. But don't they?
Although
they
it wasn't
do
really
that?
bacon.
Right? Don't they?
What's that?
They like. I was gonna say, don't they? They do something with the pig, the skulls or something, and
That's the one that I remember.
Yeah.
and then but
Yeah.
they're not like mashing in with it. I think they're like making like almost like a tincture of some sort where they're boiling down the skulls and adding it.
Interesting.
Bones. I don't think like you're not using any kind of like meat or flesh or anything like that. So, that was a big deal a few years ago. I know right before I think it was the Winter Beer Fest several years ago. There was quite a buzz around about that release, but that may not be what you're referring to. Probably it's not. We'll just say it's not. But
No, it's not. But it sounds great.
that's as close as I could come to.
And at the beginning of the show, I just realized too, John and Dana, we skipped over what you guys were drinking tonight.
Oh, we did. Shame on us.
Go for it.
Whoever would like
I want to hear. I want to know.
Dana,
It can be water. It's fine.
No, well, no. I mean, this would be pretty bad if this were water, but no, this is good though. This is good. So I live in Vicksburg area, so I gotta support my guys over at Distant Whistle. They got their Nectar Double New England IPA.
I think Distant Whistle is like the most underrated brewery, like in the area for sure. Like Lee's talked about, quite good.
Yeah,
So
they're good people. Dane's great.
They have there's a Nightwing is their dark sour.
Yeah.
They came out with it. It was probably, I want to say it was like maybe just after Halloween or so, but they still have it and it's very good. So
I know when we were talking, Dana, you were like, "Oh, we could have the mill and Distant Whistle on," and I said no. I'm already so. There's background there. Dane is actually we are. So okay, how we know Drew Jacobs is we are friends with a guy that films Drew Jacobs videos, and we have a really shitty intro. If you guys saw at the beginning of the show, it's loud music and it's just a black screen and it fades into our logo. So they're going to shoot an intro for us. The same guys that do the video for Drew Jacobs are going to come out and do an intro. And we're shooting it at Distant Whistle. Like Dane and them, they let us use their space, and we had all plans to do it. And then Whitmer like closed down the bars again. And so we had to cancel our video shoot. So yeah, there's Samantha Ross from Ripjaw Media. She's in our chat. So that's why, oops, sorry, Samantha. So Samantha and Travis are going to shoot this video for us. They're amazing videographers. They do all the videos for Drew Jacobs, a few other bands. I think Eve Under Fire. What's the other one, Jordan? Don't know.
Oh, yep. It's hitting me right now.
So we're going to do a whole Distant Whistle show and kind of go over what we're doing there with like, because we're going to take over their bar to shoot a video.
Nice.
But no, we love the guys at Distant Whistle. Yeah, the great beer. Good time if you're out in Vicksburg way. Definitely go check them out. So
They're
State of
Dane's
Mind.
got in the making some wine too. Yeah.
yep.
I was gonna say, speaking of great beer, I just opened up that 600 from the Final Gravity.
600 is fantastic too, man.
I've never had on alone, I don't think. And oh man, that's
so the Sultana is supposed to have a pineapple, right? Pineapple nose on it's just amazing.
Yeah, this is. I've had this open for a little while. I was a little confused because my numbers kind of got a little. Is that a 5 6?
You're doing like 50 cans in a row. And I was like,
Yeah. This one's clear, so I'm pretty sure I'm drinking the 600 right now.
I need to stop drinking while I'm working. I mean,
What? No.
You know what? If you have a job that you can do that, then why stop?
Yeah, exactly.
So, John, what are you drinking?
I just grabbed earlier just the party at the Moon Tower from Latitude 42, which I'm sure you had. But what I decided I had to clean it because it's been a little bit. I don't know if you guys can.
Craft Brow.
Oh, Craft Brow.
oh, wow.
Way old school.
Yeah.
I'm doing retro.
Great glass.
Yeah. You can kind of see I'm trying to get it so you can see my name. Anyway, Mug Club member. There it is. Number
33.
This is why I can't back up a vehicle to save my life. There it goes. John, member 033. So testing that one off for old time's sake.
That's awesome. Yeah,
You guys
I
should
don't
have
think I
Bert
was
on the
in
show.
21
That'd be
when they went out. How long ago was that? Maybe I was. Maybe I just never went there.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they stopped doing beer for a while, but then they had like amazing music. So Val Nelson in like the final awesome days of craft brow music. Val Nelson was booking all these shows there. She just returned to Bell's to do a lot of the music bookings. She gets like a full calendar year to be able to keep doing stuff. They're going to bring in some really cool shows. She was able to bring in shows to Kalamazoo that had no business coming to our town. But Steve Berthel, or Bert, as you guys probably know, brewed at Craft Brow before he went on to Delivery and then New Holland. So Final Gravity guys know him pretty well too. But
Bert's a good guy. I heard he's out in Colorado now.
Really?
That's what I just heard tonight from the guys at Prairie Round Hop Farm. They told me he moved out to Colorado.
Wow.
Well, I'll have to text him.
Yeah.
He was just down the street from me not that long ago.
Yeah, Ted in chat was just asking about what the description of the 600 was, and you typed it. That's great. So it's Sultana Empire Pale Malt. It's the pineapple on the nose really comes through. It's a really interesting hop. I get all pineapple in the nose and I get pine on the palate, and that's just weird. It's a weird hop. Not saying it's bad. It's just a pineapple pine. I'm trying to wrap my head around that one. So
yeah. It is different. That's the first time we've ever used it. So
I'm definitely gonna have to
cool.
pick some of those up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I'm normally more of a citrus. It's funny because you see hops usually are either citrus or they're pine. I mean, everybody's seen the hop wheel. There's 50 different flavor characteristics of hops, but the big ones in the market are either the pine danky or the citrus bright, and this one really is both, and it's kind of cool. So it's neat.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
we'll figure out how to use it. So.
Put it in the seltzer. It'll be fine.
Dude, I'm gonna open that soon.
It sounds right up my alley. I mean, I love pineapple, and I'm also a gin lover, so pine is all those nature flavors. It sounds interesting. I think I gotta try that.
Have you had Green Doors gin?
I have actually, and this weekend too. I picked up a bottle of the Absolute gin that was barrel aged.
Ooh.
So it does have pineapple notes to it, but I think they aged it for 2 years or so. But it's a bourbon barrel aged gin.
That's interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of that. I definitely want to try that.
It just came out.
I was down in. It was right before COVID hit. It was before COVID. It was like the last night of drinking on the town, and we went to this bar downtown. I'm struggling to remember the name. It's like down from Coney Island in that same block.
Green Top?
No, it wasn't Green Top. It's like a higher scale, fancier. No, I love Green Top, but Fuse. Yes, it was Fuse. Yeah. And I was talking about gin with the bartender there, and they're like, "Oh, you got to try this Liberator, which is a barrel-aged Old Tom gin." It was the first time I ever had barrel-aged gin, and it was right before COVID hit. And I think during COVID, I've drank like 8 bottles of Liberator. So if there's local people doing barrel-aged gin, that's super cool. I need to go find that.
Yeah. Green Door just came out with that, and this is, I mean, how I was ordering some drinks before. I would order a gin old fashioned, and that's exactly what they recommended. Because I said, all right, what kind of cool cocktails would you make with this? That was one of the first things they said was you can make your old fashions, but here's a gin version with it since it's barrel aged.
So because I've drank so much Liberator, and I kind of became a barrel-aged gin snob. A gin old-fashioned or a barrel-aged gin old-fashioned is actually called a Martinez. There you go. And it's my favorite drink.
I'm going to order it that way when I go. I'm not going to go say I want an old-fashioned with gin because I always felt like awkward saying that. So Martinez? Martinez.
Yep, Martinez. Right. I have a guy that works for me. His name's Martinez, and I always joke around. That's my favorite drink. So it's an old fashioned with barrel aged gin. It's lovely. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, again, we got way the hell off topic.
I learned about a new drink, so I'm not.
Yeah. Haven't I made you one of those yet?
I don't know. I come over and eat your cherries. That's all I'm good for.
Right on. So normally, I know I threw that up when John was talking. I normally make fun of Brian with these topics. So like, where's the topic? Because Brian will go off on the most sciencey shit in the world. Yeah, and even other people in the chat, they start calling it out, like science time with Brian. And
well, I think we started to track it, and every time I do that, we end up dropping like 5-6 like viewers or something like that.
Right, we do. Brian starts talking about yeast and cellular division and shit, and the viewers just. So, all right, what else do we have on our list? So. How does
I want to talk about? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go for it. Jordan's back. His internet's up.
Yeah. Jordan's internet bombed for a second. So welcome back, Jordan. So I used to really like going to Art Hop, mostly just because I used to be like really poor and I like drinking free wine. But I appreciate art too, but so I don't really know if Art Hop's been going on lately. Nobody's been really leaving their house, but if Art Hop were to go on, it would be coinciding with the second Friday in Beer Week. Do you know if it's going to happen? Is anything like that happening?
It is. Yeah, it's so they've been doing it virtually.
Oh,
this
okay.
whole time. And they're continuing to do that until they deem it safe, to have people in person again. But yeah, February would be coming up then on the 5th. And since it is Black History Month too, they are going to be featuring a lot of local artists of color as well with Art Hop. So it has been happening just virtually though. So you can check that out. They do a lot of the posting through the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo. So if you follow that Facebook page, you will then see the posts that they do on the virtual Art Hop nights.
How does that work? Is it like a show where they like kind of rotate through like art, or somebody like walking through like showcases, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this, like it's not like a show per se. But the artists who have then signed up for that month's event post things to the page shares them. So it's kind of like between the normal hours of 5 and 9, you'll be seeing the posts coming through on that Facebook page. Sometimes, yes, I think, the artists, if they wanted to do a video live, they could, and they would just be sharing that, Facebook live video. But you'll be seeing a bunch of different posts from different artists and using different mediums.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. That's really awesome. I actually did not know it was going virtual. I am terrible at following that. So, no, thank you for that.
They've still been doing it. Yeah, it's just everyone's gotten a little creative. It's still doing what we can. So,
yeah. Oh, that's great. So it's obviously gone from like Kalamazoo Beer Week to Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week. Are there like any changes that you can like, and anybody can speak up, but like any changes you can think like that might start happening with this week going forward, like branching out into like we talked about craft coffee earlier, and obviously we just found out that we have a Kalamazoo Coffee Week, but like I don't know, Kalamazoo local this week or that week, like food week. I know we have like,
there is
Kalamazoo
Restaurant Week too. So there's all these others, and I think this week won't become any of that. Like this week, at its core, the focus is still about our craft beverage industry, our beers, our spirits, our wines, craft beverage, local craft beverages. So I think there may be other ideas and other weeks and things. Those just might become other events. But this week at its core will still focus on that. But I think we've seen a lot of creative events come out of this over the years where people have involved other local partners too. So a big one, has been like, okay, yoga, at the breweries, or even painting, painting your beer stein or a glass, while you're enjoying your beverage. Other, then different food pairings as well. I think we've had some Girl Scout cookie pairings with beers, definitely different chocolates and cheeses and stuff. John, I think there's been some kind of crazy foods too paired with beers as well. But I mean, yeah, if you can think of any other of these fun ones, but at its core, it's always going to be about the beverages. So
I went to an ice cream and beer pairing at Latitude. Speaking of John's beer, he was drinking not too long ago. That was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually miss.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just I miss like the sour sessions, that would be downtown. The different breweries would put that on, trying different sour beers, and then really just kind of seeing, I know it's about Kalamazoo and I love the craft breweries here, but it was always cool seeing some of the other ones come in, getting to meet the guys from Dogfish Head and getting to lie that I worked for Abita and Anderson Valley and other breweries. Which Final Gravity, if you guys ever need somebody to lie that they're representative for you, I got you. I could bullshit whatever you need me to. It's that time of the night. I just cracked into the seltzer. I had to go get a glass.
Seltzer time, huh? I'm just about ready to finish off this. I've got a little bit of this 600 left.
That looks like a pretty dark seltzer, though. What is that?
So, that's a great question, Dana. We talk a lot about whether seltzer should be clear or colored and what flavors you use. And I'm of the mind I don't really give a shit. Color's fine. So this is berry, right? Mixed berry, strawberry.
Blueberry that's the blueberry blackberry seltzer.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
All right.
The blueberry what?
Blueberry blackberry.
Okay.
Blueberry, blackberry.
Yep.
That's
All
a tongue
What did you hear?
twister.
So, because we've gone way too far into the seltzer shit. Then people think I'm not knocking it, dude. I've brewed so much seltzer myself lately, but people
tell people how much you've actually brewed, because actually I will. It's been hard for people to buy dextrose, at least me.
Look,
this guy keeps buying it out. This guy.
These guys whine that I buy out all the sugar in Kalamazoo, and they can. You just need to get up earlier, right? So, where was I? I love seltzer. My wife loves seltzer. I like brewing seltzer. I think it's fun. It's super easy, man. To have a 1 hour brew day, it's like hell yeah, So what do you guys use? Is it all dextrose or like what's your base?
It's dextrose, yeah, no question.
Yep, it's the way to do it.
Are you guys doing any?
The seltzers have their place. I mean, they're catching on. They're popular. You about have to brew one, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm not jumping on the beer purist train, and we do style episodes whenever we take breaks between guests and stuff, and we try to bullshit our way through styles. Where we talk, we'll have an episode. The most recent one was about smoothie beers. Fad beers have their place. Fad brews have their place. Anything that brings people to the brewery, I mean, is a valuable tool, right? And if seltzer,
absolutely.
And then you say smoothie beer, same thing. Like, I feel we should brew 1, 2. Do I want 12 of them on tap? No, but that's what people are looking for. Have one and see how we do. But do we need to make that our thing? No, not at all. But that is what the people are wanting right now.
Yeah, I was talking with Jake Losi from Presidential Brewing the other day, and he said this to me on multiple occasions, that their Sherbert Hoover is their quickest selling beer. Like, they can sit on some of their other beers for months, and a full 7-barrel batch of that beer will sell out in sometimes 3 weeks.
That is one of my favorites. I am a sucker for any sour beer.
Yeah.
We actually had this conversation before, and Brian's posted on some local. We didn't talk about it in the smoothie episode, so we can talk about it now. But Brian wrote this really thoughtful, I think, well-written post about the and I'm going to fuck this up, but kind of about the effect of sugar on beer rating. People, if you go out and look on Untapped, these smoothie beers, these high lactose beers, these high gravity, pastry stouts are all knocking it out of the park. And it's because it's appealing to, and Brian, you can jump in here if I'm getting this wrong, but it really is appealing to those people that,
it's appealing to everybody. I like sugar.
Who doesn't like sugar? Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
You have people that have a palate for bourbon or a palate for scotch, and the same thing, a palate for hops and the bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
But damn near everybody likes sugar.
Yep.
Sugar and fruit, and there's something about there's a candy-like element to those beers that just makes them really fun to drink. Like, I grew up eating Warheads and Sour Patch straws and Sour Patch Kids and stuff. Not Sour Patch straws, whatever those straws were.
I know what you're talking about. The waxy ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Pixie sticks, that one.
Pixie sticks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Those things you dip, you lick the stick and dip it in the powder.
That,
don't know.
different
There
show,
were
Brian.
several versions of that.
But yeah, yeah, and we don't need to get into all that, but I had made a comment the other day that like I feel sometimes some breweries get a hard rap on Untapped because they're putting out all these wonderful beers that are like ambers and browns and like Irish stouts and stuff that are delicious. And then there are some breweries that are more focused on like New England IPAs and like a fruited sour beers and stuff, which are also delicious, but are widely more appealing. And those tend to get higher scores in the end. And then you look at Untapped ratings, and because like there's like if you look at Bell's or something like that, compared to Smooge, right? The fruited hard seltzer. Yep. I mean, there's maybe like been, I don't know how many flavors of like this fruited hard seltzer, but it's like, if not the number one like brewery on Untapped right now, it's really, really high up there. And somebody like Bell's is just like a little bit lower. And it's not that either are better or worse than the other. It's just that the scores are skewed a little bit because who doesn't love fruit? And like,
right. That's what I was gonna say. Do you think that there's with the craze of seltzers coming in, not only are they necessarily low calorie, but they're it's such a blank slate that it's so easy to like build in a little extra sugar or a little more fruit flavor, a little tartness. Now you can kind of tailor that to whatever your market is.
So back to Final Gravity and your seltzer, which I'm really enjoying.
I still
I gotta crack that. I'll chug it.
So the questions we usually ask, like, do you do carbon filtering, or are you just?
No, we don't do any carbon filtering. No.
I don't. I mean, on the homebrew scale, it's hard to. I know some breweries are doing it, but we don't have that. I don't taste any weird off flavors. I don't get the winey flavor. What kind of yeast are you guys using? Are you doing
yeast in the seltzer?
Oh boy, I don't know. I can't remember. Sorry.
We haven't brewed the seltzer in a while.
Fair.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, we had an episode when we talked about it, and people are whether or not they're using wine yeast or starting to do like champagne yeast or we actually had Omega yeast on and did a show with Lance from Omega yeast, and they recommend using their Lutra, which is like a Pilsner, not Pilsner, pseudo Pilsner, super clean. I mean, yours is super clean. It's for being unfiltered, it's really clear. The color is obviously all from the fruit addition. Yeah.
It was fun to.
Yep, it was.
I like your flavor. Yeah, I mean it's good. Your seltzer is it tastes like a bad night. So,
what did we cover what they used for flavoring?
No, I don't know. Do you guys know? I think he ran. He was like, we started asking questions right now, and he took off.
Oh, they're unfreezing, I think.
Yeah, they'll come back to us. So
Brian brought this up earlier. Where'd it go? I was gonna find his comment. Oh yeah, we were talking about different kinds of weeks and stuff like that. And I mean, it's legal in Michigan now. So like, any thoughts on like a craft marijuana week in Kalamazoo? I don't know if that's even like a thing. Like, do we even know enough about like where the stuff is coming from? What would be considered craft, like locally grown or anything? I don't know how you do that. You don't even have to speak on it.
It's out of the it's not out of the realm of possibilities, I guess, but
no, yeah, that's crazy. I laughed at it when I saw Brian.
I never even thought about that, honestly. Like, that's the first time I even
And John, I really laughed. I saw your message about the glitter beers. So,
who made glitter beer?
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody local, but Keepers of Craft.
I was say, there was a place that place out towards South Haven? Didn't they do one? What was that?
Transient
Harbor?
Tapestry.
No, was it Three Blondes?
Oh,
Oh, they might have. They might have.
I thought they did.
But we
That's
participate in Michigan Homebrew Festival every year, which is
Yeah.
it's over on the other side of the state. Usually about 20 homebrew clubs hook up, and it's a weekend event. And I can't remember what year it was. It was 2018, I think. I asked the club to do like fad beers. Like we had a guy brew a Brute IPA. I brewed a glitter beer. A glitter fruit beer. We did, what else did we do, Brian? We had the New Englands, of course, the milkshakes. Shit, that year we even had a meat beer. Thanks, Ron.
Was that the
If
meat
you're
beer
watching.
year?
Yeah, that was the meat beer year, I'm pretty sure.
Beer. What kind of meat did you?
It was
Kielbasa.
Oreos and kielbasa. So we had a competition. There's a competition that the Michigan Homebrew Festival did where they asked all the clubs to brew a beer with ingredients that started with the initials of your club. And in Keepers, what we decided to do is we brewed, I think, 5 or 6 different beers and then voted on which one was going to represent us at the festival. And Ron Henning, if he's watching us, he brewed, so our Keepers of Craft, KOC, so he brewed kielbasa, Oreos, and cocoa nibs into a stout. I refused to put it on tap on my bar. We served it through a picnic tap so it wouldn't jack up my lines. It was in my keg.
There was one person out there that really liked it.
One lady loved that beer.
She came back for like seconds and thirds and fourths.
It was oily. It had a mouthfeel.
I tried to make one with Kit Kats and Oreos, and mine came out the same way. So
I remember you.
But you're using that fake chocolate or that milk chocolate. Brian Vlier mentions the bean beer. So another club was it Ann Arbor?
Oh, what was that called? Bean soup? Is that
It
what
was
they
Bean
were?
Soup.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a club out of the east side.
It was either Ann Arbor Gilded Brewers or I think it was Ann Arbor Gilded Brewers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It was white beans, onion, garlic, oregano.
Yep. Brewed
It was
on an
brewed
open
in a-
fire.
yes, yep.
Yep. So there was a slight smokiness.
There they are.
Hey, it's our boys.
I was hoping you guys just didn't leave us.
Technical difficulties.
We've been going for a little over an hour. I'm not shooting for the 2.5 hour Drew Jacobs marathon show. So, and we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be back next week, hopefully with Dana and John and the mill. If you guys join us, but we'll have the mill people on. I think we're going to have a beer historian, right? We'll have somebody from the museum.
Yeah, somebody from their Breweriana Museum. Every time I see the word, my tongue gets twisted when I see it. But from their museum, and then also one of their guys leading up their actual brewery division there at the mill. So.
Right. So we'll get that posted in the next couple of days. Really looking forward to talking with them and checking that out. Excited for what that's going to bring to Vicksburg. Anything, Final Gravity, anything else you guys got going on besides the Kalamazoo Beer Week events?
No, yeah, just great beer all the time. So come on down, check us out, and we'll be there.
Looking forward to getting back to music. And we had a lot of music booked before COVID, and Eric Sebastian does our sound. He helps us with some of our booking, and we're really looking forward to hopefully getting back into some live music. I think Kalamazoo needs live music. I really miss that downtown.
Yeah, the Union's gone. I don't know. Old Dog hasn't been opened up yet, so
Eric was in Saturday. We're gonna expand our stage. He thought our stage was just a little bit too small, so we're actually gonna we have a pew in front of where you first walk in the brewery. We're gonna take that out and make our stage a little bit bigger, and we're gonna make some changes to our stage. And we're really anxious to get back to live music after this whole COVID thing. But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to some shows for sure. I used to frequent those, and that quota is sorely under budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the COVID thing, if nothing else, it is definitely spurred creativity. I mean, we've had to come up with some things that we probably never would have came up with otherwise. So if there's a positive point to this whole thing, our creativity has been expanded, I think.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, cool. Then hopefully we'll be able to hang out with if Dana, if John, if you guys are joining us next week. Look forward to that, and the guys from the mill. Thanks so much for coming on and talking to us tonight. It's really good. I can't wait to come check it out. I'll dig my onesie out and see if I can make it down for the.
Well, if you need that, is the Great Lakes Vintage Clothing Company up the street on the Kalamazoo Mall as well. So they will have plenty of options if you need some kind of outfits.
Yeah.
Last minute, please go check them out. They're a great supporter of all the places on the mall. So check them out as well and give them some love.
Cool. Right on. Absolutely.
Tell Dave Final Gravity sent you.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And
Seriously.
that was for the last hour or so.
I like the seltzer, by the way. This is quite fun.
Yeah. Seltzer's great. Go check out Final Gravity. I mean, great beer. I know they're selling it to go and they're canning shit. So check them out on the mall. And hopefully we'll see everybody.
There it is.